I'm Delilah.
I'm Ellery.
And I'm Mila.
And this is our podcast, Tapping.
Today we're going to be talking about, is it better to read the book or the movie based on that book?
And our books that we chose were
Twilight,
Harry Potter,
and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Every day, books old and young are being made into movies. Most people don't bother to read the old book that was based off this movie or even know about it.
My book was Harry Potter, and there's much more magic in the books than on the screen, I think. And an example of that is Dobby's death is way more personal since you get to know him more in the books than in the movie. And another example is that Ginny has more depth, and Voldemort's backstory has a lot more depth to it as well than in the movies, as it's very shallow.
Another good example is Twilight, where in the book, Bella shows a lot more emotion than in the movies. Another example would be the Cullen family, which has a lot more background. And when Bella wants to learn more about vampires, the book gives a lot more insight compared to the movie, where the movie just kind of goes very quickly in the plot. And so that's why I think that Twilight would be a better book to read before you watch the movie.
Reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is better than watching the movie because you get to see Snow slowly turning into a villain in the book and what he's thinking, but in the movie he more goes from conflicted to straight up a villain. And the ending in the book, it's more detailed about how Lucy Gray kind of disappears, but the movie it kind of leads you on to thinking that she left.
If you would like to talk to us about this topic, please dial this number.
Welcome back to Tappin' Podcast, and we had a fire going on, so we had to re-record. So
to continue, we just want to have conversations about our books and the topics that we previously talked about. So, Mila, would you like to start?
Yeah. So when Ellery went, she talked about how in the books, the description of the magic is more it's easier to, the way the author writes it helps you visualize it more, while in the movie, the magic's just kind of what'd you say, Ellery? It's just kind of
bland, there's not really much depth into it, and it's just kind of if you're a visual person, I would understand why you would pick the movies more, but picking up a book and reading it, you could really use your own imagination to see what you like. So I think that's one of the more important things that's an aspect. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mila, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, can you talk more about your insight on President Snow and how he differs from the book to the movie?
Well, in the book, like I said before, we can see him starting off struggling and then slowly turning into the villain. But like I said before, in the movie, he's just you can see him conflicted, but then he just makes decisions that immediately turn into the villain. While in the book, he has more deliberation on whether or not he should do it. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Remember, guys, our call line is right there if you want to call if you have any questions.
Oh, look, we have a caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Andrew Gonzalez, and I'm at Cabrillo High School. I was on my afternoon jog, and I'm listening to your podcast now, and you guys make some really good points. I wanted to ask you.
Okay, what questions do you have?
I actually do have one question. Why do you guys think that the imagination works better for books than the movies do?
Oh, I think that's a good question for Ellery.
Oh, yeah, or Mila, I can answer
Or
that question.
Mila.
Hi. Hello, Andrew.
What?
What was your question again?
My question is, how does the adaptation of the book, how is it more visually appealing than the ones in the movies? I mean, you can actually see the movie, but the book, it's just words. What kind of visual do you get out of that? How does that make it better?
Well, I feel like the author, with all the describing words they use, it's better that they leave it more up to the reader to describe.
The author to describe and visualize it on their own with the descriptive words that the author puts in, all the describing words. If I turn to a page here, it says there was so much to learn that even people like Ron did not have much of a head start. It's like describing, what the character's doing more, unlike on a screen where there's no words, they're just doing an action and you don't really get to see the significance of some actions in that scene. So it could be kind of complex and hard for the person who's watching the movie to see. So
Exactly, and the fact that the authors do more showing than telling, I think it's just better for like the story overall. That was a great question, Andrew. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, thank you.
Was that all the questions you had?
Podcast.
Thanks. Was that all the questions you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Andrew, for calling in. That was a great question. Now we have our guest speaker, Enzo Benitez.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Enzo. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good.
So yeah, hearing you agree with us, I have some questions for you.
Okay, ask away.
Okay. Why do you feel this way?
I feel this way because I feel that in my opinion, for me at least, I feel that watching movies is a lot better than reading books because one can like actually see and it's an experience. For one, I have to imagine on my own. That's a little hard for me.
Okay. And has there ever been any books that you preferred the book version of rather than the movie?
I wouldn't say so. I feel like there's certain aspects of books that I feel are done better in books than in movies, but I wouldn't say there's a movie now.
That's
I
a
could
fair
think
point.
of.
I can see that.
Enzo, we definitely can somewhat agree with you on your opinion, but we definitely believe that the book can be more informational than the movie, so that's why we recommend reading the book before watching the movie, so you get the experience of both point of views, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Would anyone like to?
Yeah, I get what Delilah was saying and how it goes with what Enzo's saying. Because like in the movies, they like to like leave out a lot of stuff from the
Yeah,
book.
you can't really cram like a whole like book or even a series into like an hour and 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you would like read the book, I think it's way more immersive than
You could get the full experience of
Yeah.
what the book is. And the
though
story.
it takes longer and it's not like crunched into like a 2-hour movie. I think it's better because if you really like the series, if you like the movie, then I think you would really like the books, like Harry Potter, for example.
All right. Yeah, I get what you mean. I understand your guys' point of views.
So after listening to all our opinions and thoughts, has it changed your opinion at all?
I can't. Honestly, I really understand. I like your guys' opinions, but I have to say no. I feel like there's certain aspects of things in movies that are done a lot better than in books. For an example, the Dementors, I feel in Prisoner of Azkaban are done a lot better because they look deadly and they look like they came from the ground, like kind of like they just have really good designs and the effects for them are really well done. So I feel like that's done a lot better instead of just imagining it on your own.
Well, there you have it, folks. We have a counter argument for our opinion, which is totally understandable. And even though this is a persuasive podcast, we can definitely respect other people's opinions.
We surveyed 102 people in our community, and 48 of these people ended up saying that they preferred to read the book first rather than watch the movie. But 58 of these people ended up saying that they would rather watch the movie.
Based off of this information, we are here to tell you why you should read the book rather than watch the movie. Before we end this podcast, we would like to thank our director and our special guests, Enzo Benitez and Andrew Gonzalez Herrera.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
We would also like to thank Miss Moreno for giving us this amazing project, and then we would also like to thank Miss Vasquez for letting us use the Career Center.
The Wellness Center.
Or, Twilight.
Harry Potter.
And the ballads.
Twilight.
Harry Potter.
And the
Oh.
The Ballad of
I'm Delilah.
I was okay.
As you can see, this was done by pure unprofessionals. The real argument is,
So
Okay.
it's kind of like, yeah, like, oh, we can like bring up.
should you read a book first?
Yeah.
Pick up a book.
Okay.
You'll never learn how
Oh
to
my
read.
gosh, Andrew, can you tell him to stop talking to the camera? Just clarify, I do like movies better. I've never read any of these books.
Just put in the bloopers. This is going in the bloopers.
No, you don't want to know.
Is the fit tough?
Ready? 3, 2, 1. I'm Delilah.
Okay, well,
Here, I'll do it. Okay.
Please do it.
because
B tier.
You should read the book. Don't
Andrew,
worry.
don't bother to know whether they have.
Now, a disappearing trick. Sorry, I was gonna say, well, since you haven't read that many. Okay, sorry. Let me
That's why we recommend watching the book before
Watching the
you.
book.
54, sorry, of these people
I'm checking.
prefer to watch the books. Because you can watch books.
Open the door and
Just let her in.
we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
What do you mean we don't have time?
Good job.
It was a pleasure to work with you.
You too.
Thank you to these two.
Hey,
This is going in the bloopers.
The big.
You see this, people? Do you see this? Ellery Steen Seacat. Yeah, Dean. That's her middle name. That's her middle name.
If you say we don't
Dean.
say, do not
Dean.
say anything about.
No, yeah. She's still not over him, guys. Still not over.